Hello everyone, in this video I am going to talk about static storage class, or we can say a static variable. Already I have discussed about register variable and auto variable. In this video I will cover the importance of the static variable, the lifetime of that static variable, the scope of that variable, different things. And one of the important thing is that this is one of the most frequently question asked in interview. So please focus on this. Basically there are two types of the static variable. One is global static variable. Second one is local static variable. One is global static variable and local static variable. Static variable means a variable which declared with static storage class specifier. Those variables are called as static variable. Example static int I. Static int I, a variable which declared with static storage class specifier. Such type of variables called as static variable. The first thing about the static variable, we can declare static variable globally as well as locally. Means this is the main function is there, main. This is one function a1 abc. We can declare static variable here also, static int I. We can declare static int I, or we can declare static int. Means we can declare static variable globally as well as locally. But in case of the auto variable, we can't declare globally. In case of the auto variable, we cannot declare globally. Okay, you have to understand. Now second thing, by default value of the static variable, that is the by default value of the static variable is 0. It will not be a garbage. The scope of that variable is depends where the memory is allocated. Suppose if the static variable is allocated inside a main functions, means the scope of that variable is within a main function only. This variable we can access within a main functions. If the memory is allocated globally, if the variable is allocated globally, means the scope of that variable is within a whole program. The scope of that variable is within, we can access everywhere. Inside a program. That's why the scope of that variable is depends on where the memory is allocated. Then the lifetime of that variable. Suppose I have taken one main function, main. There is one function void abc. Okay, that is static int I. Static int I, and here I am doing different operations, and I am calling to abc function. The life of that variable will start when control entered inside a function's first time. The life of that variable will start and till the execution of the whole program, the life of that variable will be remain. The life of that variable will start when control entered inside a function first time. The life of that variable will start till the execution of the whole program, not only these functions. But in case of the auto variable, if it is auto variable, when the control entered inside a functions, the life of that variable will start. When control goes outside the functions, the life of that variable will ends. That's why the lifetime of the static variable is greater than the lifetime of auto variable. Okay, where the memory will allocate for static variable? The memory will allocate for the static variable is in data section. Data section. The data sections again divided into, one is initialized data sections, initialized data section, uninitialized data sections. Okay, based on where at the time of declarations, if you initialize the variable, then the memory will allocate inside the initialized data sections, otherwise it will allocate inside the uninitialized data sections. Okay, one of the most important feature of the static variable is reinitialization. Reinitialization is not possible in case of the static variable. Example, suppose I have, this is the main functions. Okay, main functions, this is a void abc. Okay, static int I equal to 10. Okay, static int I equal to certain operations. If I will do I is equal to I plus 10, I plus 10, I plus 10, certain operations. Okay, there are certain operations. If I will call abc, again after doing certain operations, if I will abc, the reinitialization means whenever first time main functions will call the abc functions, the memory will allocated for this variable, that is I, value is 10. Whenever the main functions will call abc functions, the static variable is declared and assigned with value 10. Okay, after doing certain operations, when it will call these operations, the I is equal to I plus 10, that is 10 plus 10, that is it will become a 20. Okay, then after doing certain operations, again the control goes here, again the control will go next line. Okay, now after doing this is operations, when again the main functions will call, when the main functions will call to the abc, in that time these instructions will not execute. It will not again replace by 10, it will not again replace, it will not again do the initializations. Whenever I will call next time to the abc functions, it will not initialize once again to this variable by 10. No, reinitialization is not possible. The 20 will be remain as it is. These instructions will not execute when we will call the next time to that functions. That's why the reinitialization is not possible. Then again it will do certain operation, then again I is equal to I plus 10, means the 30. But these instructions will execute only one times. That's why the reinitialization is not possible in case of the static variable. This is one of the important feature of the static variable. Because of these features only, we mostly use static variable recursion and some looping functions. This is all about static storage class. We will meet very soon with new concept. Thank you, all the best.